Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everyone. We'll get the meeting started. As previously mentioned, unfortunately our webcast system is down, so we'll be recording. Hopefully there's no technical difficulties, and we'll be posting it online afterwards. Welcome to the meeting. Bonne soirée. Roll call. Everyone is accounted and present for. I'll ask everyone to stand for the prayer and the national anthem, please. Attendu que le Canada est fondé sur des principes qui reconnaissent la suprématie de Dieu et la primauté du droit, prenons un moment de réflexion personnelle. Whereas Canada is founded upon principles that recognize the supremacy of God and the rule of law, let us take a moment of personal reflection. Item 4, additions, deletions, or amendments. Do we have anything? Notice a motion au numéro 12. Item 12, notice a motion by conseiller Brisson for paving on Limon. Okay, anything else? Okay, adoption of the agenda, motion to approve the agenda as amended. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by conseiller Small, seconded by conseiller Brisson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Item 6, disclosure of pecuniary interest. I see none. Item 7, adoption of minutes. Regular council minutes from February 6, 2017. Motion to approve the following minutes as presented. Moved by conseiller Lorrain, seconded by conseiller Associé. Questions, comments? All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Item 8, presentations. We will have a presentation by Prescott Russell Tourism, but it will be following items 11A and 11B. Delegations, we have none. Item 10, consent items. All items listed under consent items will be enacted by one motion. A majority vote is required for the adoption of consent items. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a request is made prior to the time council votes on the motion that a consent item is to be separated from the motion. The separated item shall be considered immediately thereafter. So a motion that all items listed under consent items be received and presented. Item A, resolution to acknowledge receipt of petition from Guy Comeau on behalf of property owners of La Madeleine Boulevard, sanitary sewer construction on La Madeleine Boulevard in Embrun. That council acknowledges receipt of a petition received from Mr. Guy Comeau on behalf of the property owners on La Madeleine Boulevard in Embrun at the regular council meeting of February 6, 2017. Item B, minutes at Township of Russell Public Library Board, November 14, 2016. And item C, minutes of the Limoges Citizens Committee dated January 10th, 2017. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Question. Moved by Conseiller Brisson, seconded by Conseiller Hassan. Item 11, reports from departments and council committees. Item A, Sports Dome 90% design completion report and business plan update, report CAO 04-2017. That council acknowledges receipt of the 90% design PowerPoint presentation, and that council gives direction to staff to proceed in completing 100% of the design of a dome, approximately 330 feet long by 180 feet wide by 54 feet high, including the building design, draft site plan, awaiting final approval, and incorporate any professional elements as discussed during this presentation, and proceed with the tender process as per the timetable set in the report for final approval by council, and that council approves the entry into an agreement in the amount of $771,252.80 plus $13,574.04, equaling $784,826.84. This amount includes 1.76% of non-refundable HST, with the Farley Manufacturing Incorporated as the official pre-selected dome supplier, who shall perform work under the successful general contractor upon the final award of the project construction contract, and that the mayor and the clerk be authorized to sign the agreement. Monsieur Leduc.
Monsieur le maire, membre du conseil, bonsoir. So tonight we're presenting our 90% design completion report and also the updated business plan of a new sports dome. As council recollects, back in June 2016, we got direction from council to proceed in the planning, designing, and operating and financing of this new municipal infrastructure. Back in November, we were in front of council to present to you the 60% design completion report. So tonight we're presenting you the 90% design report, and I think we're proposing the best quality cost ratio project that can be presented to council, considering the budget restraints and also the public expectations that we need to manage in this project, because there's a few of them that are expected out there. Donc, on va vous présenter ce soir une présentation PowerPoint, on va vous présenter le programme comme tel, le projet comme tel, ainsi que le budget opérationnel 5 ans, le financement proposé et les prochaines étapes à venir. Donc, l'équipe va faire la présentation suivante. Ce projet-là, on vous présente un projet d'affaires ou un modèle d'affaires qui est autosuffisant financièrement. So, it's a self-sustaining financial establishment. So we'll try to demonstrate that to council and to the public through this presentation. So, Mr. Mayor, I'll invite my team to start presenting the PowerPoint.
Thank you. Thank you, Monsieur Leduc. Madame Guitard.
Merci, Monsieur le Maire, membre du conseil. First, I just want to say how exciting we all are sitting at the table here. It's been a very long process. And the few words that I will be saying first are not part of the introduction, are not part of the writing, because I thought maybe I just wanted to speak what I really felt and what the team felt that we went through for the last almost year that we've been working on this project. So bear with me, I'm a bit nervous here, and it's my second language, but I really thought that it was important that I let council know how we felt and how the community feels about this project. The last time I had some nice wording about benefits to the community, benefits, healthy benefits, and all kinds of good things. But tonight I wanted to present maybe more concrete benefits that we live in this community. For the last year, the team has been working effortlessly, I can say. Many hours were spent on this project. And one thing that personally I found is we got into a better working environment, better working group. We built some very strong bond going through this project, because I don't recall the last time that infrastructure worked jointly with Parks and Rec on a project. So this was it's a very unique experience, and I think it's unifying the team at the township level. As a community, I don't think I have to remind you that this is the purpose of this whole dome, is to unify the community. And I think last Friday was a perfect example of that. We had a great, amazing committee that organized the André-Philippe Gagnon night. It was a tremendous success. And I think the nice part of this whole thing was a joint workmanship for both villages, and everybody was working together. So that's something I think that the Township of Russell have been striving for many, many years. So I think it's a really nice thing happening here. We wanted the dome to be beside the two villages, between the boundaries, we like to say, so that we can maybe alleviate all those myths about those English and French things. And so I think this is helping out a great deal. And for the support, as I said last Friday night, I think the community is behind us in this project. Even the business community was there to be witnessing this great project. We know that there will be a continued support. We just have to look at past history with the big nights like Ladies' Night, Breast Cancer Breakfast, the Trivia Nights, the Lobster Fest, and of course the André-Philippe Gagnon Night. So I think the community is behind this project, and it's important that council is aware of this. And I think here at the table, it's more than a job. I think it's a passion, and we all share this common project. So this was my little introduction for tonight as recreation director. So now we can pass to more serious stuff. In my slide, what I wanted to really pinpoint my program ideas are basically the same. The only ones that we took out for now is the golf. And I'm happy to say that we've signed with Tennis Canada. There's a group of residents that created a committee, so we will be part of Tennis Canada, so we'll be able to bring this in the dome.
Sorry, I just want to make sure we're following along properly. Where are you in your presentation?
Okay.
If you just tell us what page you're on.
Sure. Unfortunately, there's no page number on that. It's where it says program ideas. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, because the first initial pages are the same as the last presentation.
Exactly.
Correct.
Like I said, I didn't want to go through that tonight. I just wanted to put my personal.
Okay.
Okay. So you have the program ideas that I just, and then we have the gym part that is new, because the last time we presented, we were not too sure about the existence of the gym. So now we're presenting a gym tonight. So you have the fitness area, and then you have the exercise flooring and the gym floor. So that's an example of what we're proposing to have.
Oui. Conseiller Brisson?
Just to make clear, is the exercise flooring in the space and this and the gymnastic floor comme c'est tout dans la région du gym, ça? Ces deux choses-là? Is those exercise flooring and the gymnastic in the same plan?
We're asking, the question is it the whole length of?
This is the material that will be used. This material is used throughout the gym area and as well as the exercise area. It's a multi-purpose floor that you can use extreme weight. You can use all types of shoeing that will not disturb or deteriorate the quality of the material. We wanted to make sure that the area that was being used could be used as multifunctional. So if we even wanted to move some of the gym equipment in other areas or rearrange how we would like to look at the gym in the future, by having the flooring all one style, one kind, gives us the option of having any options that the township would like to have moving forward. If we don't like the current design we have in place, we could actually change it because the flooring will be the same all the way through for the approximately 4,000 square feet.
So it's, if I just recall, it's all in here.
That's correct.
But for the tennis, it's not that.
No, it's not. It's a special floor.
Okay, so all the athletic is this one, and it will be separated with exercise flooring and.
That's correct.
Okay, yes.
Je vais continuer, Madame Mitton.
So the next one, we can have a brief look at the user fees if council wishes. So we've based our numbers on some comparison that I've done with a few domes that are approximately the same size, that approximately offers the same kind of facility, and that they also have the same kind of population. Because it's, sometimes we have to remember when we compare with Ottawa, we don't have the same population, but we're so close by to Ottawa that we have to treat them as competition. So we need to be able to compete with these different domes. So I put in some numbers for the estimated proposed fees. Of course, we like to say it's estimates, so nothing is in concrete right now, because in my next steps, I do mention that when the project will be brought back later on, a more final fee schedule amendment will be brought to council for final approval, so that you have the chance to give your final approval.
Are these are conservative estimates?
They're very conservative. We wanted to do this. This was done on purpose because we feel it's the right way to work, and that's what we did. Also, we've put also in the comments column, we've put the numbers that we've done, how we came up to these numbers, so that you know where the annual income comes from.
Merci, Madame Mitton. Monsieur conseiller Larin?
In the next updated version, I guess at the 100% mark, are we gonna see totals in all the estimated columns? Because right now you don't have anything for the 1/3 field, you don't have anything for A, B, C, D, A, B, B, C, C, under the gym passes. There's nothing under number 4, A, B, D.
That's where we wanted to stay conservative. So basically, we've put the more popular ones are yearly, and the yearly for student, yearly adults. So after that, we will be able to bring forth maybe some more concrete numbers for those dropping monthly. We thought that tonight was, we wanted to show you the more important numbers.
Because I'm just looking at the walking passes. You know, we're looking at an estimate of 50 passes for 50 and 50. And I remember Alexandra, the deputy mayor, making a presentation here, and them estimating that they were estimated 100 passes, and they ended up with 500 passes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said I think just looking, I thought it was a little conservative, but parfait. Tu peux continuer, Madame Mitton.
And also, like I mentioned in my next step, when we bring back for the final approval, there will be a mention of prime and non-prime, like any other facility, for council to approve, if council wishes to have prime and non-prime. In the operational budget that sorry.
Conseiller Larin?
Is there also talk of minor sports type fees that are going to be discounted as well for this, for certain things like soccer or whatnot? What else go in there? But
Monsieur Leduc, Madame Mitton?
That's also part of the proposed, like when we talk about prime and non-prime, I will try to maybe have a diversity, and like we have for the arenas, like local and non-local and sports, minor sports. Yeah. And like I was saying, the 5-year operational budget will be presented later on in the financial section with Mr. Godin. And there we present a 5-year from 2018 to 2022, because you will remember that the 2017 has already been approved in the 2017 budget. That is the numbers. Hopefully will stay. That's provided that the option 1 of the proposed plan tonight is adopted, because if this option is not retained tonight, this could make an impact on the type of programming and related capital and operational expenses and revenues that this could create on the operational budget. So this is my section.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Picard. I know you've been, you and the team have been working very hard, so I appreciate the information. Next would be Monsieur Leduc, Mr. Cullen.
Thank you, members of council. If I could just go to the draft site plan 90%, please. The drawing. This drawing here. So I'm going to use the pointer a little bit. If I can here tonight. This is a 90% completion of the site plan that's being proposed to council tonight. And there's some original things. The equipment's been moved. There's been additions. We originally had most of the equipment, everything at this end of the dome. We've now brought everything to the other end of the dome. I'm trying to use the pointer here. All the different types of equipment that go here, the air units, air conditioning, an additional air conditioning unit, because we'd like to make sure that it does dehumidify the dome, the building, the generators, our airlock to go in, and then the building itself. What's in shade here is actually the paving. This would likely be the first phase if we get there this year. We would like to at least do the turnaround and the handicap parking at this time, and do the areas where most of the equipment is. Around the dome will be an asphalt base, and the way we'd like to do this is when the actual path is completed here, Public Works will be able to come in, drive around, go around, and be able to go around the outside of the dome and take the snow away by not spending a lot of time having to use a shovel. We will have to do a little bit of snow removal in these areas, but we're trying to streamline as best as possible to keep the snow off the dome, because it is important during the winter time to keep it away from the dome as much as possible. So this is the 90% completion. This is, how do I say that, additional parking on this side. Again, we have that in our budget tonight, but it depends on the timing of the dome and the completion, whether we would attempt to finish this year, or we'd wait till next spring and finish it and have another opportunity to do the final grades and then pay it again. So, but this is what we're proposing tonight to council. Again, 90%, not much left to change here, a few small items just for our site plan, and then it would be ready to proceed.
Conseil Lorrain.
Are we, all things being equal, and council gives their approval and it shovels in the ground and it gets completed, are we looking at people being able to use this before the end of the year?
Use, I have to stipulate what use means. So,
The dome.
Will the sports dome be available for rental and for use before the new year?
Our timelines, which you'll see later on, is to have a completion by December 1, 2017. So
By December
December
1?
1, 2017.
Okay.
That's our schedule. That's our estimated time to complete. The issue we have, the issue is once the dome is finished, the grade beam, which is here, goes all the way around, and all that site work is finished, then we'd attempt to do the path and do the paving. But I don't want contractors going in and driving across my paving and across my bike path to finish doing grade and all those type of things. So we would kind of get to the November time to see still when paving is open to be done. And then again, to make sure that, you know, I'm not going to have people driving across my new path with equipment and ruining what's just been placed down. So it's kind of a catch right now is the timing. If we're done early enough, maybe before December, and we have a chance, then we would. And we may finish the granulars around the building and have it rolled at least so that our plows could go around for the winter time, if that's, you know, the worst case scenario. But we're planning to have it all done by December 1st, what you see tonight. So.
Okay. My follow-up to that is, if you can't get the parking lot done and you open in December, where are people going to park?
Well, we're going to have the parking done. We're just not going to have it paved. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, the parking will be all in up to the granular A and rolled. We're looking at the fact that it's new. You know, you pave it this fall, and then we have the first year of frost, and then it goes in and it cracks the pavement all up, and we go back in and spend a couple $100,000 redoing it again. Where if we have the first winter to let it settle, let the frost go through its process, a little settlement in between the B and the A granulars, then at least we have the opportunity then to go and re-roll it and pave it, and then likely it would be a better finish for a longer period of time. But there will be, the parking area will be there for the required amount of parking spaces.
Okay. And marked and as best,
Yeah,
like
well,
whether they're with
we're-
the,
Yeah, we're gonna like to actually try to put some standards up to see if we can just at least get an idea where they are for the winter time.
because I can see that becoming an extreme hassle for people
Yep.
if it's not properly designed out and without being paved, how that's gonna look, and people parking everywhere just to get in, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay.
We'll certainly try our best. Thank you.
Conseil Brisson?
Just a bit of clarification, I see on the drawing that it's low picture, but there's a kind of a loop going underneath the dome, and then just that you see that it follow the road, and then it enter, and it goes around.
Oh, you mean in here?
Yeah.
That's the existing road allowance that was there at this time.
Ah,
That
okay.
was my previous plan when we did Valorous Street, because we had to have an area to be able to clean the snow and for the snowplow to go around. So that area was already built. So that, some of that area will be removed, some of it will remain, and the extra granular that's sitting there right now will be used in this contract. So, but that was the original design, because we can't have the plows come in and just stop. We have to be able to go in and turn around, and that's why it was done that way at that time. Okay, can you go to that next slide, please? Oh, one more. So tonight, again, we're presenting it at 90% for review. Council can decide to pre-approve the project to this level. Next steps, the site plan and building permit application. We met this morning and discussed our final review with the planning department. We don't seem to have a lot of issues, but as always, we have some things we have to finish before. Finalize the building drawings. They're 100% on the Farley project. They're about close to 100%, I'd say, on the site plan drawings for the building itself. But again, we have some small tweaks to do before we get to 100%. Finalize the mechanical electrical. Again, we're about 90%, likely really good 90. And then, like I said, the Farley drawings now are at 100%, and we're ready to go. They were confirmed today between our engineers and Farley that all the drawings associated between the building and the dome itself are ready to go. So I won't go through this, because I went through this before. Just again, we're going with the 18330, 3-lane track, a small restaurant and a little pub, an area to have something to eat and a beverage, skylights to help save energy in the summertime, and we've put an additional 20 feet on the soccer field from length, just for from the width, so that there's 3 courts in use, and the extra little area makes it easier for people, young children that are practicing on the fields. Farley Group is recommended as our pre-selector, as I said before. We'll work under the successful general contractor for the rest of the tender. Okay. This is what it looks like. We decided to do it in color, so you can see the different areas, the building. This is where the airlock is. This is for to go in and out of the dome for maintenance, emergencies, ambulance to back up when somebody's injured to be able to get out of the dome. This is our mechanical area with all the blowers. There's actually 2 and a generator, so there's a backup to the existing commercial hydro. If it goes to fail, the dome will revert back to generator hydro, so that the dome does not deflate. We had 1 air conditioner originally in there at about 30 tons. We've added a second one at 30 tons, so that we do know that the building will be very comfortable during the summertime when it is very warm out. They do get very warm in the summer. The second thing is we moved our dome east to west, so that we only have sun exposure in the morning and in the afternoon. So it does help too with the energy. And Farley was quite impressed that the township come up with that idea. So, okay, next slide, please. So with timelines in mind, as Madame Guittard said, it's pretty hard for us to get into revisions here. We're presenting it 90%. Council may still direct staff to make some changes, but again, we're there where we're at that 10% where we're at the top of our budget. We would really not like to make any more changes moving forward. And I'll say that in the best way is that we're pretty confident of what we've presented here tonight. We've been working hard with the Macintosh Trade Group and all the affiliates that are working under their team. We're very comfortable with what we're providing to council tonight, and think we have a very good project. So I just wanted to put that out there. Next. So originally we came in with 3 options. Again, as Madame Guittard said, we have 1 option. This is the option because this has revenue streams associated with the business plan. One of the items being, we have the see-through cafe, so you can actually go out and you can actually see out into the dome area while you're having a bite to eat, which we thought was a really nice idea when we went to other facilities and looked at that. That seemed to be a really high attraction. Again, too, is having the cafe for something to eat. We are going to have the fine foods and the healthy foods as far as the restaurant is concerned. Councillor Briso asked me tonight if I could have maybe 1 or 2 seats to be removable for handicap, and I don't think there's any issue with that. We talked today about that. From that perspective, we have a community room here. Again, it's about 20, I was asked today, 21 by approximately 20. So it's about 400 square feet. Sits about 35 people comfortably, likely more if you want to hold hands or hug each other. But from that perspective, it works. A lobby entranceway. Right here, we have the recognition wall is going to go on right here. We're debating it to go there or to go on this wall. We also have, as every project is done in the municipality, we'll have a final plaque by council members and it'll show all the people involved in the production and the approval of the dome process. We have universal washrooms, reception area, mechanical room, office room. This was the electrical room. It's been moved to the south because now our electrical room is close to all the equipment, which has saved a lot of money as far as electrical, mechanical, and running cables and conduit. Women's change room, men's change room, double doors so they can be locked. So if the one thing about the change rooms idea here is that for the leagues that want to come in and play soccer or flag football or any of those, they'd like to be able to secure the doors and lock that because they have their phone and their wallets and associated stuff with them, and it's nice to be able to lock the doors. So that's one of the reasons. Main office, reception area. This is the airlock, so there's a walking airlock, you could say, in most hotels, and then we have an airlock here for handicap, which is called the pressurizing unit, which be able to press a button, you walk inside, it pressurizes from the dome side, the door opens and you go in. Very simply and very done, very simple to go through.
Just
so,
a second, Mr. Cronin.
Yep,
Conseil
sorry.
Brisson, this one.
Yeah, I did share that comment with you, but whenever for the change room, saying that you lock the room, but it's just that if there's some people that want to go to change, that they're going for the track. So what I was wondering, why having the change room locked instead of having more locker in? And then if the people want to lock their clothes, they will have the locker to put in. Because if you have a game, but you will have some people that will be at the gym, there's some that on the track, so they will want to use the change room too. So my point was, why having a second door? That way you can just have one door going in the bathroom and then that connect with the change room, and then all along that passway where there was the change room, you could put some locker there, and having a seat in the middle instead. So that way you will have a lot more locker.
There's only one entrance then.
Yeah.
2 entrances.
No, the way he's
Explaining it as one.
Yeah, but most of the change room that you go, whether you're at Arena or they have
They don't have.
one.
They don't
I
have
know the
lockers.
Good Lives has always 2
Yeah.
entrances.
I think I'll try to answer it like this. I can put lockers, which would be fine, but most of the change room use will be leagues. So it'll mostly be leagues, like men's leagues, women's leagues, those type of leagues where they like the security of having it locked. I mean, behind the benches, there's a place for everybody to put their coat, their pants, just like you would in the arena. So from our perspective, we believe that's the best option. From what we've seen from all the other facilities that we've looked at, that's the number one.
But it's just that whenever after I talked to you,
Yeah.
I was thinking it's just that if there's some other, especially in winter, that they arrive with their heavy clothes, then they want to put the short in or anything to go to the gym, or they won't be able to use the change room because it will be locked for.
Well, I presume the change rooms will be locked at night because most of the leagues will be at night. I think the second thing you have to understand, and I can't go back to the site plan drawing, maybe I could go back. Could I go back, Maurice, to the big drawing? Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, that one that'll do. So what you have to understand here when we come into the building, I think, and we're not there quite about the rules and regulations about going into the dome, but the area in orange here, everybody goes there. Everybody puts their bag there, their their boots, their shoes, whatever. Kids come in, they don't come in and they don't go to the change rooms, they don't go into the washrooms, they come out here, they throw their bag in the corner, they go over here and get ready to do what they're going to do. That's the typical way it's used in most dome facilities. So along here is like an excellent place for people to put their boots and everything. The whole idea here is to keep the boots and the winter stuff off the track surfaces, because that's where you get the deterioration. But for the usage of that and the usage of the dome, 30 kids are going to come in here to play soccer. They're going to throw all their stuff here in the corner, wherever, and they're going to go over here and get their coach and they're going to start to play. So, and that's what we see in all the other facilities that we've been in. So it's a catch both ways. I understand what you're saying, but I think the majority of the usage especially the youth usage, will be in the orange areas. They'll come in the orange areas, and that's why we've created that area and space to make sure that there is that space for them to use.
Conseil Simon?
I think one part of his point was to add more lockers, because right now there's 4, if they're one on top of the other, that's 8. Like for women, plus I see some there in the hallway. But is that it? Because there's going to be more than 16 people using lockers.
I think from the perspective of our understanding is that in the change rooms themselves, they're similar to the arena, where you have a place to hang your coat, you have a place to put your boots under the bench, you get changed, and you go about your activities. Become space and time and area. Can remove part of the bench and put some more lockers here. If council would like me to do so, it might be both areas.
I suppose in the future, if we say that we need it, we could probably replace that change room, like the change area, put them on the wall.
Certainly.
Yeah. 'Cause
We could have them above
as
the.
long as we can
I could
modify
have
it
them.
as we
I could
go.
have them above the benches as well.
Yeah.
If
that's what I'm
council
thinking.
wished to do there, but then again.
No, but that could be done after.
It's just more money, but I could have the lockers above the benches all the way around if council wished me to take a look at that. We could certainly look at that before we finalize it 100%. So if that would suffice,
Yeah.
that would be a good answer.
Yeah.
D'autres questions, commentaires à this one? I think it's a question of, we'd like to see more locker space.
Yep.
So that's something that can definitely be added.
Okay, so we'll take the direction that they'll be installed. Okay.
Conseiller Brisson?
Just one observation. It was just wondering why the office is so big.
Well,
Because
I think she said it earlier. She's a big director here. She's a recreation director.
Because
so
you
no.
have the
Plus it is
reception,
office.
you have a space for the reception desk, and then the office is almost as big as the community room. So that's why I find it quite big. But
Well, it's about half the size of the community room, and the community room is 20 by 20, so it's about 10 by 10, maybe 12 by 12.
I know.
Again, you have to understand that, and I haven't got into that section yet of the safety and features and cameras and all kinds of stuff. All that goes into that office, so all the monitoring of all the safety and all the cameras in the dome, all of that equipment is in that office. So besides the desk, there's a lot of other items that are going to go into the office
Just
as well.
keep clarify. Thank you.
Conseiller Alain?
I think just because of the design,
Yeah.
how it's big like that, it shows
It
that
looks
it's
big.
big, but if it's only 10 by 10, that's not a big room.
No.
Especially when I have to put a
Especially-
bunch of surveillance equipment and all of
Especially when you throw a desk in,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming there's windows there to look into the dome.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is for security too as well.
So,
But I thought it was more than 10.
yeah.
D'autres questions?
Okay,
Je peux continuer, Mr.
Okay.
Miller?
next slide, please. It's not the slide I have. Yep. Okay. So what I did here, so council can understand, is we, at 60%, there were comments about what else is going to go into the facility. Contingencies, equipment, engineering, paving, and all of these items that we decided that it would be best to show you what we actually presented at 60% and what we're now presenting at 90%. Again, if I was to try and do this on the 3 options that we brought before, it'd be very difficult. I wouldn't be in front of you tonight because we would have to design everything and do those cost comparatives, and that would take a lot more time than what we thought the timelines were to have the project completed in 2017. So what we did is we went back and looked at 60% of the cost. As you'll see in the civil part, we certainly aren't carrying the same amount that we were originally in the 60%. Get this thing to work, yeah. But you can understand down here where we say athletic track and tennis areas, we're actually lower. From our perspective, we think we're pretty comparable to what we had before. So from there, what we did is we took the total construction cost today, and we've had a lot of revisions. Macintosh Perry's worked very hard here to really go through every. Whoops. Switch. We're switching.
We got 2 screens now. You can use the other one for now.
Yeah, I have 2 heads. I go back and forth.
In French.
That's fine. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Numbers are dying.
Cheaper for the French.
And this doesn't work on this side, so, oh, there it does. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Okay. It doesn't work on this. Why it doesn't work on the screen, I don't know. Oh, there we go. We got it there. Okay. So what we've did here tonight is we've went through each area. The areas that don't change are the Farley's areas, because from the Farley's contract, it has remained the same price since we discussed that. From the install part, again, these contracts have been split. I'm going to speak about that later. Our foundation, we've taken a little more consideration on the foundation due to the soils that are there, so we are putting some caution here. As you can see, we didn't carry that number before, but we are carrying that. A little less on civil, but a little more on the foundation side. I do believe we're a little high, but again, we'd like to see the tenders come in and let it be competitive to see how well these people do bid against it. The turf, approximately about the same number. The athletic track, the tennis and gym areas, with the little change we've made here with having one composite floor all the time, we've left about $65,000 on the table. The associated building, we have come down from what we originally were, some modifications. I'll thank the structural group from Macintosh Perry for that. They've totally take a second look at the foundation and come up with a better plan. And as you can see, a less expensive design. Exterior lighting pretty well stays the same. The green space, we brought it down because we've added some granular areas that we didn't have before, and we've taken out some things that are in there that we really didn't need to have as far as landscaping. So what we did there is we provided you with a number. We're at 3347, and from that perspective, we come in around 3541. Again, we believe there's some room here when we do go to tender, but we want to make sure that we're safe. So one of the comments from, I think it was Councillor Lauren, said to me, can we see it all? So that's what we're doing tonight here in the construction estimate. We're showing you the contingency for the building at $354,000. I do read that right. And we're carrying around 10%. Again, when we go to tender, that number may decrease, by 100,000 or so, because of the fact that we'll have the tender, we'll know exactly what it is, and then the comfortability of the general contractor. And that's what I'm going to explain in the slides moving forward after. We have a subtotal. We've added the miscellaneous equipment that Councillor Brisson asked me for. We're going to show you that slide shortly of all the equipment that's going into the facility. And then from our engineering perspective, this is our original engineering estimate. There will likely be some modifications to that because we have had to do a little bit of extra work. But these are the numbers that we have tonight to show you, approximately $4.058 million. We're at $4.520 million with that contingency of $300,000. And the paving contract, which we are contemplating to do part of it this year and part of it in 2000 and in next spring. Again, I guess I'll compliment the Kin Club here because from what I've seen after Saturday night, I don't think there's much issues here getting up to around what the number that they expected to be at 400,000. So in all understanding here, and we're looking at 4.8, I can really say to you, I think I'm very comfortable sitting around about 4.1. So again, not going to tender yet, but from an estimates perspective, we're really thinking that we'd be around the 4058 in the other column, somewhere between the 4058 and 4.2. That's what we really believe it will be. Again, you can hold me as ransom if the tender comes in higher, but that's what we expect. So I want council to be comfortable understanding that's really the number when we come in here without that. And later on, Mr. Godin will explain some of the other funding that's being available here. So you'll see that there's actually additional funding being brought to the table as far as the finance plan is concerned.
Conseil,
Can you just repeat that, please, for for me there? Because I'm showing 4.89,
Yep.
so 4.9 million.
Yep.
And you say it's gonna come in around 4.1,
Construction, yes.
the construction.
Construction, yes.
Okay, so where's the 700,000 coming from?
Well, we have about a $300,000 contingency.
Yeah.
And we have about $400,000 from the Kin Club.
Okay,
So
so
we're
those
about
are the two.
700,000.
Those are the two things.
Those are the two items, yes.
Okay, so
We're
we
really
think-
banking on Mr. Anthony to come through, so.
So we're hoping that we're hoping that the contingency will not be used.
We're telling you right now that whenever we put this up here in a tender document, we usually carry 10%. That's likely going to be fairly substantial based on our finer tender numbers. What we'd like to say to you is that I think we're very comfortable saying that we're not going to use it. I'm not saying we won't, but the more comfortable we get here at 100%, we feel more comfortable that we won't. That we've covered all the bases, all the angles. We've went through the design here at least 6-8 times. We've went through all the structural, electrical, mechanical at least 6-8 times. We feel really comfortable that it's here, but it is there for that cautionary thing that did we miss anything? And what I'm saying tonight is with the numbers we're showing you with that additional associated building, the foundation one is $619,000. So I'm actually carrying a little over $1 million here, where originally I was carrying $721,000. It's a safety, that's what we call that. This is just a real safety, because we don't want to have any come up and go, boom, here's in front of you. So I understand that I don't think it'll be at that price, but we want to carry it anyway, just to make sure. I guess the other two items too is our hydro and our gas services. If we do have a large enough load here for hydro, usually we don't pay full PIN. And if we have a large enough load on our gas system, we won't pay the full price for the gas services as well. So they are in that 497, so there's actually an opportunity there to save some money as well. But we'd like to get to that tender point and then be able to say to you, this is the contingency we're going to carry. Right now it's 10%.
So essentially at this point in time, the 4.9 million you're showing us is, in your opinion, worst case scenario.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Conseil Lorrain?
Yeah. So the total to the taxpayer,
I'd like to save that till we do the finance portion. If you don't mind, Councillor.
that's fine.
It would be a lot easier for Mr. Godin to explain.
All right. I'll save my comments till then. You just want to pass it over to him.
Yeah, I will.
I got
Just
you.
getting ready.
I've been here a long time. Yeah.
Conseil Simon?
Okay, now we're getting into all the numbers and the more financial stuff. So can I just ask a question, practical, back to the site plan? What's the access system? So is it like a code or a bar, or like, 'cause I didn't see somebody can just come in without going to the reception? Like, what's the system?
I don't think we finalized it yet, how it's going to work, but you do have to go by the administration desk to be able to enter into the facility. I think from what we've discussed so far, and
Because
Sam's
you
looking at me.
just see them walk
Uh,
by,
you
but
know,
it's,
the way we've had it set up right now is, and I won't go too far, is it's like going to be like a tag system where you
Yeah.
have a certain tag, a certain color, you're allowed to do certain things inside the dome.
yeah, like the little barcodes.
We do have four cameras inside the dome that are at the reception and are at the office's desk, so
Yeah.
people are visually being seen what they're doing and where
But
they
you
are.
can't identify who has a membership and doesn't, that's the
No,
point.
but from our membership side, Celine, you want to speak to it?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mr. Collin. Members of council and Mr. Mayor. We did make a switch in our registration programs at the end of December. We're now with booking, and we did buy the membership module. So this is all available. We bought this specifically for the dome, so we can have some pictures and some ID cards made.
So like the door only unlocks when you scan the barcode or something?
For the gym, we were thinking about having some kind of a
Yeah.
fob system, but
Well,
if-
even just the track, I'm thinking, because I see you have memberships for that.
So
how
this
do you know
would
who
be,
they-
this would be an ID card with your
Okay.
picture, and you would have to show this at the reception area when you come in.
Okay.
Conseil Lorrain?
Are we thinking of some sort of a scanner for their card then? So they have to scan through so we can tell the usage as well?
Mhm.
Similar to, I guess, the library where they have to scan their card, then when they come in and out kind of thing?
To be honest with you, we haven't checked really thoroughly with booking what we could do with this. Probably there might be some possibilities for a scanner, and if it's something that we wish to keep some stats and for the in and outs, that'd be a
Yeah.
possibility. Sure, we could look into that.
I just know that when I used to go to the gym, the OAC, I had to swipe through to go
Yeah.
through the little turnstile, right? And where you couldn't get in, past the security, past the reception desk. Once you got you know, you come into the building, so similar to here, you come into the building, you can walk over, let's say, walk around to the cafe and watch, but to actually get into where the airlock is to go inside, you have to swipe in and go through, or something like that anyway.
Yeah, there's something we could look into for sure.
Yeah, it's been noted, we'll certainly take a
Yeah.
serious look at that.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Conseiller Small?
I just wanted to add also because exactly you can track how often people are coming as well. So for statistics, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure, thank you.
Conseiller Brisson? Deuxième conseiller là.
Sur le même sujet comme d'informatique, Céline, c'est à savoir, est-ce que ça va être informatisé que le monde va pouvoir boucler les terrains à partir de leur ordinateur? Ou ça va être...
En ligne?
ouais,
Monsieur Leduc, Madame Guitton?
online booking.
Merci, Monsieur le maire, Madame du Conseil. Je pense pas que les gens vont pouvoir réserver tel quel, vont pouvoir au moins viewer, aller regarder si le terrain est disponible et ensuite de ça, réserver. Présentement, on ne permet pas que nos salles puissent être réservées online. Ce qu'on permet de voir, c'est si la salle est disponible ou pas. C'est pour ça qu'on va avoir du personnel sur les lieux pour prendre les réservations. Puis tout le système de réservation va rester le même que la municipalité, là, comme qu'on a présentement au département de loisirs.
C'est juste que c'est pour ça que je sais que j'ai entendu parler à d'autres installations que ça se faisait, peut-être à être considéré que des fois si quelqu'un justement qui a de quoi qui vient disponible, qui n'a pas besoin d'avoir des parce que parfois le staff, s'il reçoit leur appel ou quoi que ce soit, si tu peux le faire online, savoir OK, ils sont dans Réunion, OK, oui, notre terrain est bouclé pour cet événement-là. Ça serait plaisant de pouvoir le faire online.
And that's always doable because we're part of all that big software, so it is doable. Right now, it's just our wish not to do it. So yeah, it's a
Just
possibility for the future.
Yeah, I think it'll be the options are there to
That's
bring
right.
it. I think it's part of the business plan as well, speed,
Online.
online bookings, that kind of stuff, so. Conseiller?
The last piece I'll touch on here, and just it speaks, I'll just circle back to some of the metrics that we were just talking about, when people swipe it in and stuff. I think there's an absolute benefit to both us and the user to see potential annual report that they can pull out or we can provide to them to show how much they used the facility. And, you know, we have justification at that point in time when we look at increasing fees. Say, well, listen, you know, you used it 600 times in the last year, twice a day. We'll say you came in and walked or whatever, and you're paying $50 a year or whatever the number is. Where I think we're going to put it up a little bit. You know what I mean? You can use those that information, and I think it'd be interesting to the user as well to see how much they actually used based on what their cost was, and you know, it justifies the facility for them.
And I think that's the beauty of all those online registration programs because we can get so many infinite reports that you cannot imagine. So those are the good side, the stats that we can keep for sure.
Conseiller Brisson?
Juste un petit commentaire aussi avant qu'on aille au financier. Quand que je regardais l'horaire, je sais que c'est juste exemple. I know it's just an example, but on the weekend, having it maybe beginning at 9, I don't know if there is some group that would want to have longer hours. But that's minor, but just a comment.
I think if we have people lining up and saying we want to start at 6 a.m., then
Yeah.
staff will be able to handle it and have it open at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just a comment.
It's like it's tryouts, you know.
Yeah.
We do the same thing for the arena. Some years we're open at 7 and the other years we're open at 6. So we go by the demand.
Parfait. Monsieur Cullen?
Good job. Next slide, please. So we were asked what some of the equipment would be inside and some of the equipment that we need to provide. This is a list. I won't read them all off to you, but I think we've taken everything into consideration here, what we believe will be inside as far as even the stop signs that we'll have out front, handicap signs, all the different things, fire lanes, soccer equipment, which will be straightforward. We'd like it to be more than just soccer. We'd like to have I have a lot of interest from flag football people that are asking me about it, so hey, we'll take whatever comes. The recognition wall, sound system, surveillance security, we've had a chance to meet with Madame Bordeaux. We've had an opportunity to sit with the IT guy who does that security part and have him likely under contract because he's already under contract with the municipality. So we've asked him for a preliminary plan to show us where he'd like all his conduits, where he wants his wires to be brought to. So we've got to that point where we're pretty solidified with what we're doing. Lockers you asked me about, we'll add some more tables, chairs, furniture, kitchenettes, sinks, cabinets, advertising, signs is one that we will show you later. We have a slide that we'll show you, we just don't have it in this presentation. So those are the items that we'll put in there. There's likely more than that, but we thought we'd give you at least a list to tell you there are at least these items that are going inside.
Everything including the kitchen sink.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Okay, contracts. This is the most important part. You know, you go out to design build, you go out for project management, all these type of things always are negotiable. So this is where we started to really negotiate with the Farley Group because they were being sole sourced and they were aware of that situation. So in this situation, when we first started off, then we presented to you at about $1,086,000. We've added all kinds of different features and netting and safety stuff to make sure that the dome is going to be safe for anybody that wants to go walk on the track, when there's soccer being on there, when people are playing tennis, to really solidify. So when we got all finished with Farley and we had all the numbers, we were about 1.21 million. In negotiations with the Farley Group, and I'm going to call it, this is what they actually said to me, is if you give us a hibernation contract, we could lower our price. So what a hibernation contract is that after tonight, if council approves their contract to go forward, they would reduce their price by $161,000. So I thought that was very significant. Again, those contracts are ready. They've been reviewed by our solicitor. They're ready to be signed, so council's aware of that. But we thought from the position that they were in, and this includes additional air conditioning, a lot of other items that were included afterwards. So from that position, we thought that with the price we have and from the other contracts that I've seen that are out there, it's very competitive. So. And again, the second contract here is with the general contractor, and we'll explain how that's going to work as we go forward. So, next slide, please. So the first contract's with Farley Manufacturing, as they are actually a two-part group. They have a manufacturing group and they have an install group. This will include the fabrication, the material pre-selected, purchase all the other equipment and materials required to construct the dome, supply the associated equipment when requested by the general contractor. And what this does is alleviate some of the, how do you say that, the questioning from the contractor's position is, okay, when's my stuff going to be ready, and do I take a markup of 5% here for the risk associated with knowing when is it going to be here. This way, all of Farley's equipment will be ready to be on site as of June 1st. So all this equipment, the blowers, the generator, all the equipment that's associated with having the dome operate will all be ready to be brought to the municipality on June 1st. So upon signing this contract, the township will pay Farley Manufacturing this amount. The remainder of Farley's contract will be into a general contractor's contract where he'll carry that risk under a second contract. And this is the way that our solicitor approached us about it, and this is the way most of the contractors that we spoke to think this is a really comfortable way of doing it. It allows the contractor not to carry $771,000, and I'm going to show you an example of that after. And again, only have to carry $278,000, which is a substantial less amount for him to have to, for his own performance bond, for his own insurance, and so on. Okay, the next slide, please. So the reason, again, I'm telling you is we mitigate the risk of meeting the timeline for site. We'd like to put this project together and have it ready by December 1. Again, it'll be shipped and ready to the site when the general contractor is ready for the installation. Less risk, schedule, construction, knowing the dome is ready. So just give you an example here, the contractor's carrying a percentage, because contractors all carry a percentage. At 5% of $1,049,000, it's $52,000. At 5% of $278,000, it's $13,000. So we leave almost $40,000 on the table just negotiating the two contracts. So again, a second example too at 10%, but I just wanted to show you this is why we do this, is because we're trying to save the township money, and that's our money. We're not giving that to Farley, and we don't plan on giving that to the general contractor either. So this is why we do that. Okay, next slide, please. So this is how it works with a general contractor, and how this works is it's very good for when we do go to tender. The general contractor knows exactly his payment schedules. He knows what he has to pay and when to pay. And that's very important for a general contractor to know, okay, what am I in, what am I putting up front, and what am I having to secure before I sign my contract. So in this case here, the general contractor will pay Farley the 45% on the delivery of all the equipment. They'll pay 45% of it on substantial